There is a specific kind of silence on a car lot that dealers hate. Not the quiet of a slow Tuesday morning, the quiet of the same vehicles sitting in the same spots week after week, month after month, with window stickers that nobody is stopping to read. Right now, across dealerships in the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia, that silence is getting louder. Some of these models have been sitting for over 300 days. A few are approaching a full year. Dealers are stacking incentives, cutting prices below invoice, and in some cases, just hoping the next model year gives them an excuse to wholesale the old stock out the back door. We are going through all 15 of them today. The same models, but we are going deeper than the sticker price and the star ratings. We are getting into the specific complaints, the reliability patterns, the ownership cost realities, and what it actually means if one of these is on your shortlist right now. Stay through to number 7, because that entry is not just about one vehicle. It is about something happening across the entire market that affects every car on this list. Let's count them down. Number 15. 2025 Nissan Murano. The Murano has always occupied a strange position in Nissan's lineup. It is not a 3-row family hauler. It is not a sporty crossover. It sits in a 2-row mid-size space where buyers increasingly want either genuine value or genuine capability, and the Murano delivers neither convincingly at its current price. The powertrain is the most immediate problem. A naturally aspirated V6 paired with a CVT is the combination Nissan has been using in this segment for years. In 2025, when competitors are offering turbocharged engines, hybrid options, and in some cases plug-in hybrid systems, that powertrain feels like it belongs to a different era. Buyers cross-shopping the Murano against the Hyundai Santa Fe or the Toyota Venza, both of which offer hybrid variants with better fuel economy and more modern driving dynamics, are making that comparison and walking away. Then there is the pricing. A decently equipped Murano Platinum pushes past $45,000 in many markets. At that number, the value proposition simply does not hold up. The Kia Telluride offers 3 rows and better reliability scores for similar money. The Toyota Grand Highlander offers hybrid efficiency and a stronger resale track record. Nissan's reliability scores have also been sliding. J.D. Power and Consumer Reports have both reflected owner dissatisfaction in recent survey cycles, and that reputation follows the brand into every showroom conversation, whether the salesperson acknowledges it or not. The Murano is not a bad vehicle in isolation. It is a vehicle that has not kept pace with the segment around it, and buyers who do their homework are noticing. Number 14. 2025 Lincoln Corsair. The Corsair sits in one of the most brutally competitive spaces in the entire automotive market. Compact luxury SUVs priced between $40,000 and $55,000. That puts it directly against the Audi Q5, the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLC, and the Volvo XC40. That is a difficult neighborhood. Lincoln has made genuine improvements to the Corsair. The interior is quiet, the ride is well controlled, and the Grand Touring plug-in hybrid variant offers real electric range for daily commuting. On a spec sheet, it is competitive. The problem is that spec sheets do not carry brand weight, and brand weight is what closes sales at this price point. Buyers spending $50,000 on a luxury SUV are not just buying the vehicle. They are buying the service experience, the resale expectation, and what the badge communicates. Lincoln has been losing ground on all 3 of those fronts for several years. The dealer network contraction is a practical issue that does not get enough attention. As Ford has reduced the number of standalone Lincoln showrooms, buyers in some markets have fewer options for service, longer wait times, and less of the seamless premium experience that justifies a premium price. Audi and BMW buyers in the same markets typically have multiple service points within a reasonable distance. Infotainment is another area where the Corsair consistently draws criticism. The system has improved, but still lags behind what the German competitors offer. And for buyers in this age bracket who are increasingly reliant on connected technology in their vehicles, that gap matters more than it used to. Inventory has been building. Dealers are discounting. The product is not the core problem. The brand infrastructure around it is. Number 13. 2025 Genesis GV70. Spend 30 minutes with a GV70, and you will understand why automotive journalists have been enthusiastic about it. The interior design is genuinely distinctive. The turbocharged engine options are responsive. The ride quality sits in the right place between sporty and comfortable. On pure product merit, this vehicle competes with the BMW X3 and Mercedes GLC, and in some areas beats them. And it is sitting on lots. The reason comes down to a financial reality that Genesis cannot yet engineer its way around. Luxury buyers, particularly in the $45,000 to $65,000 segment, are predominantly lease buyers. Lease payments are driven by residual values, which are driven by how well the vehicle holds its worth over 3 years. Genesis residuals trail BMW and Mercedes by a meaningful margin. That means a GV70 lease payment can look worse than a comparable X3 lease payment even when the sticker prices are similar. That is the conversation that happens when buyers sit down at the finance desk, and it is the conversation that sends them back to the German brands they already trusted. There is also the longer-term question of brand continuity. Genesis is Hyundai's luxury division, and while Hyundai has been an impressive company in recent years, buyers at this price point want certainty that the brand, the dealer network, and the parts infrastructure will be fully intact in 7 years when the powertrain warranty expires. Genesis has not yet earned that certainty the way BMW and Mercedes have. The product deserves better sales numbers than it is getting. The brand story is not finished yet. Number 12. 2025 Volkswagen ID.4. The ID.4 was Volkswagen's serious attempt at a mass-market electric SUV. Not a halo product. Not a limited run. A real, volume competitor to the Tesla Model Y and the Hyundai Ioniq 5, priced and positioned for mainstream buyers who were ready to go electric. It has not worked the way VW planned, and the inventory numbers reflect that. The range situation is the starting point. The ID.4 offers roughly 250 miles of EPA-rated range, depending on the variant. That number is not disqualifying on its own, but it becomes a problem in comparison. The Ioniq 5 offers more range in comparable trims. The Tesla Model Y offers more range and a significantly more developed charging network. The Chevrolet Equinox EV undercuts the ID.4 on price with comparable range. EV buyers in 2025 have options that simply did not exist when the ID.4 launched, and those options are better. Charging speed is the second issue. The ID.4's peak DC fast charging rate has been a consistent point of criticism among owners and reviewers. For buyers who take longer trips and depend on fast charging to make electric ownership practical, this is a deal-breaker rather than a minor inconvenience. The software problems from early production have largely been addressed, but the reputation damage has not fully healed. EV buyers research obsessively. The early forum threads about infotainment failures, over-the-air update problems, and navigation issues are still findable and still being read by buyers who are currently shopping. VW has the engineering capability to build a competitive electric SUV. With the ID.4, the execution has not matched the ambition. Number 11. 2025 Cadillac CT5. The CT5 is a well-executed sedan in a segment that is quietly running out of buyers. That is the honest summary. The driving dynamics are genuinely good. The interior is a significant step forward from where Cadillac was 5 years ago. The CT5V Blackwing is legitimately one of the most capable performance sedans built anywhere in the world at any price. None of that is in dispute. What is happening is a demand problem that no amount of product improvement can fully solve. The mid-size luxury sedan segment has been shrinking for years as buyers migrate toward SUVs. BMW and Mercedes have both responded by putting increasing emphasis on their SUV lineups, while maintaining their sedans primarily for brand completeness. Cadillac is in the same situation with the CT5, except the brand's own SUV lineup, the XT5, the XT6, and the Escalade, is actively absorbing buyers who might otherwise have considered a sedan. Pricing is the secondary issue. A well-equipped CT5 Premium Luxury approaches $60,000, and at that price, buyers who have already decided they want a sedan are cross-shopping the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class. Both of those carry stronger resale values and more established service networks in most markets. The CT5 deserves more attention than it gets. It is just fighting a battle against buyer behavior that no single model can win. Number 10. 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 6. The Ioniq 6 has won more design and engineering awards than most vehicles twice its price. It holds a 5-star NHTSA safety rating. Its 800-volt charging architecture means it can add about 60 miles of range in under 5 minutes on a compatible DC fast charger, a capability that genuinely outperforms most competitors, including Tesla, in certain charging scenarios. The EPA range on the long-range rear-wheel drive variant exceeds 300 miles. It is sitting on lots. The design is the first barrier. The Ioniq 6's aerodynamic sedan profile is striking and intentional, but it reads as unusual to buyers who walked in expecting something more conventional. In the EV segment specifically, unusual design carries more risk than it does in the broader market because EV buyers are already managing the unfamiliarity of the technology itself. Adding an unconventional body style on top of that is one variable too many for a significant portion of the buyer pool. The second problem is category. The Ioniq 6 is a sedan in a market that is moving toward crossovers even within the EV segment. The Ioniq 5 outsells the Ioniq 6 consistently, and the primary reason is that buyers who are ready to go electric still want the elevated seating position and cargo flexibility of a crossover. The Ioniq 6 asks them to give that up. Most of them are not ready to. This is a vehicle that is ahead of the market in several meaningful ways. The market has not caught up yet. Number 9. 2025 Dodge Hornet. The Hornet was Dodge's attempt to plant a flag in the compact crossover segment, a space where Honda, Toyota, and Mazda have been printing money for years. The idea made sense. The execution has been the problem. The platform is shared with the Alfa Romeo Tonale, which means the Hornet inherits both the strengths and the weaknesses of that architecture. Stellantis has been dealing with quality perception issues across its brands for several years, and those issues have shown up in the Hornet's owner feedback. Consumer reports flagged reliability concerns. NHTSA complaint volumes on the Hornet have been above average for the segment. Buyers who spend time on owner forums before purchasing, and your audience absolutely does, are finding those threads. There is also a brand identity problem that no engineering solution can fix. Dodge's identity is built around performance. The Charger, the Challenger, the Durango SRT, these are the vehicles that Dodge buyers respond to. A compact crossover with a 4-cylinder engine does not fit that identity, and it does not attract the buyer who already trusts Dodge. Meanwhile, the practical SUV buyer, who is cross-shopping the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, and the Mazda CX-5, has 3 proven alternatives with significantly stronger reliability track records and better resale values. The Hornet is in the difficult position of not clearly winning either conversation, the performance conversation or the practical reliability conversation. That is why it is sitting. Number 8. 2025 BMW 7 Series. A $100,000 BMW sitting unsold is not something that was easy to predict 5 years ago. The 7 Series has historically been one of the definitive statements in the full-size luxury sedan segment. What is happening now is instructive. The front-end styling redesign that BMW applied to the current generation 7 Series has been consistently polarizing since it launched. The large kidney grilles and aggressive surfacing that work reasonably well on some BMW models feel oversized and busy on a vehicle that buyers at this price point expect to communicate restrained confidence. When you are spending over $100,000 on a flagship sedan, divided opinions on the exterior are enough to send buyers to alternatives. The competition in this space is more intense than it has been in decades. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class continues to dominate in prestige perception and resale value. The Lucid Air has entered the conversation for buyers who are open to an electric alternative. The BMW i7 electric variant is competing with the combustion 7 Series for the same buyers within the same showroom. The 7 Series technology suite is genuinely impressive. The rear seat entertainment system, the level of acoustic insulation, and the available semi-autonomous driving features are all legitimate selling points. But at this price, impressive technology is the baseline expectation, not the differentiator. And when the styling is dividing buyers before they even sit inside, the technology conversation often does not happen. Number 7. 2025 Ford Bronco Sport. This is the entry that tells you something about the broader market, not just about one vehicle. The Bronco Sport is not a bad product. Off-road capability beyond what most competitors offer at the price, strong brand recognition, a loyal community of owners, and a design identity that is genuinely differentiated. By most measures, this should be selling without difficulty. What happened is a production story. During the supply shortage years of 2021 and 2022, the Bronco Sport was one of the most wanted vehicles in the country. Dealers were charging over sticker, buyers were waiting months. Ford read that demand signal and responded by significantly increasing production capacity. But the demand environment that justified that production ramp did not last. Interest rates rose. Buyers pulled back. Affordability became a real barrier across the market. And Ford found itself with significantly more Bronco Sports than the market was prepared to absorb at the prices that made sense on the factory floor. The result is what you see now: discounting, incentive stacking, and inventory that is still not moving fast enough despite the price reductions. Here is why this matters beyond just the Bronco Sport. When a genuinely popular, well-liked vehicle with strong brand loyalty starts sitting on lots because buyers cannot comfortably afford it, that is a market-wide signal. It means affordability has become a constraint that overrides preference. And if that is true for the Bronco Sport, it is contributing to the inventory pressure on every other vehicle on this list. The market is not just sorting out which vehicles people want. It is sorting out which ones they can actually afford to buy right now. Number 6. 2025 Land Rover Defender. The Defender's return to the market was one of the most anticipated automotive relaunches in recent memory. The original Defender carried genuine legend status, a utilitarian, capable vehicle that meant something to people who had never even driven one. The new Defender leaned into that heritage while adding modern technology, a premium interior, and price tags that start around $60,000 and climb past $90,000. The reliability reality has not matched the heritage story. Owner forums dedicated to the current Defender, and there are active ones, document a consistent pattern of electrical issues, software glitches requiring dealer resets, air suspension failures, and infotainment problems. These are not isolated incidents. They appear with enough regularity and enough specificity that they represent a pattern rather than individual bad luck. Land Rover's service network, makes the reliability situation worse. The brand has never had the dealer density of mainstream manufacturers, and in some markets, the nearest authorized service center is a significant distance away. When a Defender at $85,000 needs to spend 2 weeks at a dealer waiting for an air suspension component, that is not just an inconvenience. It is the kind of experience that generates the reviews and forum posts that future buyers read before they decide. The Defender remains compelling in concept. The execution, and specifically the reliability and service consistency, has not yet earned the price it commands. Number 5. 2025 Tesla Model S. The Model S launched in 2012 and genuinely changed what people believed an electric vehicle could be. For several years, it had no real competition in the electric luxury sedan space. That period is over. The Lucid Air now offers more range than any Model S variant, over 500 miles in the Grand Touring trim, in a vehicle with an interior that most reviewers describe as meaningfully more refined. The Mercedes EQS offers a more traditional luxury experience for buyers who find Tesla's minimalist interior too sparse for a $90,000 vehicle. The BMW i7 has become a serious competitor with the brand infrastructure that Tesla still lacks in terms of dealer service experience. Inside the Model S itself, buyer feedback on specific design decisions has been consistently negative in ways that Tesla has been slow to address. The yoke steering wheel, which replaced the conventional round wheel, has drawn sustained criticism from owners and reviewers. In a vehicle at this price, an unconventional steering interface is not a compelling innovation. It is a friction point that buyers at this level do not want to manage. Tesla's brand has also absorbed significant reputational pressure from multiple directions over the past 2 years. The specifics are widely documented. The effect on Model S sales is visible in the inventory data. A vehicle that once had waiting lists is now sitting on lots with incentives attached. The Model S is still a capable vehicle. It is no longer the obvious choice it once was. Number 4. 2025 Infiniti QX80. The QX80 redesign for 2025 was substantial. Infiniti moved to a new platform, replaced the aging naturally aspirated V8 with a twin-turbocharged V6, and dramatically updated the interior with materials and technology that genuinely compete with what you find in European luxury SUVs at similar prices. This was supposed to be the vehicle that reminded buyers that Infiniti existed as a serious luxury option. Instead, inventory is building and dealers are discounting. The pricing is the most immediate problem. A fully configured QX80 Autograph approaches $100,000. At that price, the consideration set automatically includes the Cadillac Escalade, the Lincoln Navigator, the BMW X7, and the Mercedes-Benz GLS. Every one of those buyers is doing that comparison, and Infiniti does not win it on brand prestige, resale value, or dealer experience. Resale value matters enormously at this price point. A buyer writing a $95,000 check and financing it wants to know what happens to that investment in 3 to 5 years. The Escalade and the GLS hold their value meaningfully better than the QX80 based on historical depreciation data, and that difference in residual value translates directly into the total cost of ownership calculation that financially literate buyers in this income bracket are absolutely running. The QX80 is a better vehicle than Infiniti has offered in this segment in years. It is competing against brands that have spent decades building the loyalty and the residual value track record that justify six-figure pricing, and that gap does not close with a single redesign. Number 3. 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Blazer EV launch in late 2023 was one of the more consequential stumbles in recent American automotive history, and the inventory situation today is a direct result of what happened in those first few months. The software problems that affected early Blazer EV deliveries were serious enough that General Motors made the decision to halt sales entirely in early 2024. Not a quiet service bulletin, not a limited recall, a full stop on deliveries, while the engineering team worked through issues that were widespread enough to affect the entire population of delivered vehicles. Dealers were caught with inventory they could not sell, and customers who could not take delivery of vehicles they had already purchased. GM has addressed the core software problems, and the current Blazer EV is a significantly more stable vehicle than what launched. But the EV buyer is a specific kind of consumer. They read the technical forums, they track the NHTSA filings. They know the full history of the Blazer EV launch because they researched it before they started shopping, and that knowledge does not disappear because GM says the software is fixed now. The competitive environment has also shifted against the Blazer EV in the time since launch. The Chevrolet Equinox EV entered the market at a significantly lower starting price with comparable range, creating an internal competitor that makes the Blazer EV harder to justify. Tesla, Hyundai, Ford, and Honda are all competing aggressively in the same price range with incentives and established reliability reputations. Dealer incentives on the Blazer EV are currently significant. That reflects how far buyer confidence still needs to travel. Number 2. 2025 Maserati Grecale. 300 days of inventory in some markets. In some dealer groups, longer. For a vehicle that starts above $60,000 and climbs past $80,000 in upper trims, that number represents an enormous amount of capital sitting in a parking lot, generating no return. The Grecale situation is not complicated. Maserati carries a reputation in the ownership community that the brand has not yet been able to reverse. Expensive maintenance, reliability concerns that show up consistently in long-term ownership surveys, and depreciation that is severe even by European luxury brand standards. A 3-year-old Grecale can lose 40% or more of its original value, which is a figure that informed buyers at this price point are aware of before they walk into a showroom. At $80,000, the Grecale is competing against the Porsche Macan, the BMW X3 M40i, the Mercedes-Benz AMG GLC 43, and the Audi SQ5. Each of those vehicles offers a more established dealer and service network, stronger resale performance, and a reliability track record that is meaningfully better than what Maserati's ownership community reports. Maserati's dealer network is thin in most US and Canadian markets. Parts availability and service wait times have been consistent complaints from owners trying to get warranty work completed. When a vehicle at this price needs a week at the dealer and the nearest authorized service point is an hour away, that is the kind of ownership experience that generates the reviews that close doors before they open. 300 days is not a number, it is an outcome. Number 1. 2025 Jaguar F-Type. 350 days of inventory at certain dealer groups. Some of these vehicles have been sitting for close to a full calendar year. For a sports car priced between $70,000 and $100,000, that is a number that reflects a situation well beyond a slow sales month. What is happening with the F-Type starts with what is happening with Jaguar as a brand. U.S. sales have declined from over 30,000 units annually to under 10,000 over the past several years. That is not a dip. That is a structural collapse in market presence. Jaguar has announced a full brand repositioning as an ultra-luxury manufacturer with significantly higher price points and a completely new product lineup. But that transition is still in progress. The new vehicles are not here yet. The current vehicles, including the F-Type, are carrying the burden of a brand that is publicly in the middle of reinventing itself with no clear timeline visible to buyers. That uncertainty has a direct effect on purchase decisions. A buyer considering a $75,000 F-Type today is also asking what Jaguar's dealer network, parts availability, and software support look like in 2029 or 2031? Those are legitimate questions that Jaguar cannot fully answer right now. And when buyers cannot get clear answers, they go somewhere else. Reliability is the compounding problem. Jaguar ranks near the bottom of Consumer Reports and J.D. Power reliability surveys with a consistency that spans multiple model years. The F-Type's electrical system has been a documented area of concern. At a price that puts it in competition with the Porsche 718, the BMW M4, and the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, reliability is not something buyers can reasonably compromise on. The F-Type delivers on driving excitement. That part of the promise is real. But buyers at this price have options that deliver driving excitement alongside reliability and a clear brand future. The F-Type is currently offering only one of those three things, and the inventory numbers are the result. Those are all 15. Pricing, reliability, timing, brand confidence, and a market that is pulling back on affordability grounds. Every vehicle on this list is sitting because of at least one of those pressures, and several because of all of them at once. If any of these are on your current shortlist, drop the model in the comments. A lot of people watching this are either current owners or went through the buying decision recently, and the real-world feedback in the comments on these specific vehicles is worth reading before you sign anything. If this was useful, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel is built the same way. Ownership data, reliability patterns, and total cost of ownership over 5 to 10 years. No manufacturer money, no sponsored reviews. See you in the next one.